What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleazebomb. Today's episode, or the last episode of the day, is going to be my tight end top 30 rankings. We're going to go through like the top 15, top 20, then I'll kind of smash through the last 10 there because I don't think you're really going to start them. One of them we are going to talk about more than others and why I have him ranked so high and why he should be one of your smash starts, which I'm going to talk about in my smash start video as well, guys. Before we dive into it, make sure you smash that like and subscribe. All the support's appreciated. Can't thank you guys enough. If you guys want to talk fantasy football 24/7 off stream, we literally have the Guys FF Discord, which we cover everything. Me and my partner, Big Draft Energy, in there. All your questions, all your trades, all dynasty values, everything you need. Literally everything fantasy football. We also drop our DFS Tertiary Plays, pick 'em plays we like, 4 in a row through 2 weeks. So we're golden there. It's absolutely been hitting great. And if you haven't signed up on drafters.com, make sure you use promo code SLEAZE. It will double your initial deposit up to $100. And let's dive into my tight end top 30 rankings for week 3. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my tight end board here. Baller tier at the top, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. In my camera board here, you're going to see George Kittle, who we don't know. You know, obviously he's on IR. Sorry, not him. We don't know. Dallas Goedert, we don't have an update if he's out there, or Isaiah Likely. So I would say if they're out there, I'll just range them out. I would put Dallas Goedert 16 to 18 range because the Rams' weakness is the tight end. So that could be a nice play for him there, especially with the volume he saw in week 1. And then Isaiah Likely, first game back off the foot. I don't, you could go probably 22, 24 range with him. You're getting a good matchup versus Detroit, but, Mark Andrews hasn't been involved either. So I don't know how it's really going to look with him until he gets back out there. Now, starting off with number 1, and remember I said we're going to talk about one of these players here for a little bit here, but it is not the number 1 guy. I'm going to pull up what I want to pull up my stat sheet on real quick, but number 1, going to be still Trey McBride for me. I know he hasn't found the end zone. 49ers just got absolutely gashed by Juwan Johnson last week, and you saw how Marvin Harrison, the struggles are still here. Marvin Harrison with only 6 targets max in both games. Now, I know he had a touchdown in week 1, but it's still the Trey McBride show. And, maybe Brock Purdy's out there or not in this game, that would definitely change the game script a little bit because I think with Mac Jones, the offense still moved okay, but it was the Saints. So Trey McBride, it's got to find the end zone. We got to get Kyler Murray going. Number 2, Brock Bowers. And you could tell that he wasn't healthy last week. Look hampered, and that hampered the entire Oakland or Las Vegas Raiders offense. I would say Oakland's just been doing so much content for Raiders over the time. He's got to bounce back. It's got to be Brock Bowers here. You get the matchup. You don't even know if JD5 is going to be out there yet either versus Washington, so that could be even more of a help game script-wise for their offense. They've got to get the running game going. But Geno Smith, man, week 2, it looked very, very scary. I mean, he was throwing balls into literally triple defenders. It looked absolutely awful. Scary times could be ahead. It's only a 2-week sample size right now, but still I'm a little worried after one game was really bad, then one game was decently good. So Brock Bowers, he lines up everywhere. He's not really a tight end. He's an elite force no matter what. Now, number 3, we're going to talk about this one for a minute. This is my highest rank on the year right now for Juwan Johnson. I'm probably the highest ranker in content creators on the planet for Juwan Johnson, and he's going up against the Seattle Seahawks. I know you have Rattler at the 12th man. It's going to be scary. The defense is very good, but where is Seattle weak? Where are they the weakest at right now? They are the weakest versus the tight end. They rank 32nd. They've given up 20.4 points already, 16 receptions, averaging 8 receptions a game, and 108 yards and a touchdown. It's almost 60 games and a touchdown to the tight end again. Now, listen to these metrics for Juwan Johnson and tell me why he's not in your starting lineup this week. After I just told you Seattle is number 1 worst versus the tight end, right? He has 20 targets. That's number 1 for tight ends. His target share, this is the entire NFL, 26.7%. He's number 3. Target rate, 27.4%, number 3 in the NFL. Snap share, tight end, 97.2, number 1. Slot snaps in a Kellen Moore offense. They line him up in the slot, 54 slot snaps, number 2. Routes ran, 73, number 2. Route participation, 87%, number 8. Air yards, 144, number 1. Air yard share, 25%, number 4. ADOT, 7.2, number 10. Deep targets, 1, number 6. Red zone targets, 3, number 2. Design drawn up play targets, number 8. First read targets, he's number 2. This guy's metrics are ridiculous right now. in this offense, there's no way you can sit Juwan Johnson. He's top 10 in almost every single metric. He's number 1 in the top 5 metrics, and you get the worst defense through 2 weeks versus the tight end. This guy can flex over running backs this week. That's how valuable Juwan Johnson is going to be, and I almost put him at number 1. Number 4, the absolute stud Tyler Warren. This is the guy the Bears should have drafted. I'm going to say this every single video because it's what I said all year and people gave me shit. Tyler Warren's already the number 4 tight end overall on the season. He is already dominating. Daniel Jones targets him nonstop. He looks amazing across the middle. It's going to be a nightmare to stop this guy. He even gets wildcat runs, played quarterback in high school. I even said he's going to pass for a touchdown this year. It's going to be the Tyler Warren show from here on out for the next 5 years. This guy is never coming out of your lineup, period. Number 5, Tucker Kraft. You saw the ability. You saw across the middle. Jordan Love loves this man. You get the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are very, very good versus the run. Green Bay is going to have to open up the pass game here again. Tucker Kraft absolutely smashed last week. I think he's going to absolutely smash again. And I think he's earned his way into the conversation now of, it's not a start-sit for Tucker Kraft anymore. He's an automatic start now. That's how good he's looked. And especially with Jaden Reed down, it's going to open up even more for him. Number 6, Sam Laporta. The matchup is beautiful here. You get the Detroit Lions versus the Baltimore Ravens Monday Night Football, 52.5 over under, high implied point total game. This is what you want. And where did the Baltimore Ravens struggle? Just like they did last year versus the tight end. Right behind Seattle, they're number 2 worst versus the tight end. They've given up 8 receptions a game, more yards than Seattle at 185 and 1 touchdown. They just haven't given up that second touchdown like Seattle has. Sam Laporta is an absolute smash spot here this week. Number 7, and it's time to wake this man up. It could have been J.J. McCarthy. It could have been the game scripts. It could have been how they went. But, man, T.J. Hawkinson, he's even healthy. He looks good out there. He's been open. The reads were not going to him. Now you have a veteran in Carson Wentz. They know that Justin Jefferson's going to get doubled. And you still have Jordan Addison out for 1 game here. So this is like T.J. Hawkinson's game to wake up. And you get the Bengals. We know the Bengals defense is terrible everywhere. Every single way, shape, or form, this defense is terrible. This should be a smash start here for T.J. Hawkinson. And he's like a BTJ to me, man. If he doesn't hit this week, I'm going to start dropping him lower because this man is too good not to have the production he's had through 2 weeks. Number 8, Travis Kelce. I tried to say it in week 1. I know he got that busted touchdown. Then he dropped the touchdown in week 2. I've been saying he doesn't look like himself. He doesn't get open the same way he used to. Father time. He's been a great tight end for a long time. The matchup versus the Rams is brutal. Absolutely brutal. This is their number 1 versus the quarterback, number 5 versus the wide receiver. Very good versus the tight end. If they have a weak spot, it is tight end. They're like number 11. And that's off the top of my head. It's going to be they're not going up against the Rams. Sorry. I'm completely blanking on that right now. They're going up against the Giants. The Giants have been good versus the tight end as well until Jake Ferguson in a shootout game. They went 80 points. I don't think that's going to happen here. But still, I have Travis Kelce in my top 10 still just because of volume. Even with Xavier Worthy back, I still think he's going to be able to put up top 10 numbers. Number 9, Kyle Pitts. He's looked better. He's looked better than last year. The targets are up. This is just a game that worries me because the matchup is great. The Carolina Panthers are very, very bad versus the tight end. They're 3rd worst in the NFL. It's just a game where do I think Carolina can stay in it, or is Bijan and Tyler Algier just going to run them over because the Carolina Panthers cannot stop the run at all? You start every single running back against the Carolina Panthers for the rest of the season, just like last year, no matter what. So it's going to come down to if Bryce Young, Ted McMillan, Dave Canales, can this offense stay in the game? Because if not, it's just going to be a ground and pound, not enough passing volume for Kyle Pitts. But the matchup is great. They cannot stop the tight end either. That's their weak spot. So in the passing game, that's their weak spot. So I like Kyle Pitts at 9, but I am afraid of the game script here. Number 10, this one comes down to JD5, back-to-back touchdowns for Zach Ertz, of course. I want to see Ben Sinnott so bad, but it's just going to be Zach Ertz again, and we're just going to have to live with Zach Ertz being the tight end. But if JD5 isn't out there with a knee injury, and maybe it's Marcus Mariota, I'm definitely dropping Zach Ertz down more because JD5 just loves Zach Ertz. Number 11, Fergalicious. Get with it. The Chicago Bears defense is beat up. He's a startable tight end this week. Had a big week last week. Dak loves his tight end. I've been saying that all offseason long. He's probably going to average 7-8 targets a game. As long as he's out there healthy. Schoonmaker might get a couple here and there depending on the 12 personnel they run out there. but you're getting a matchup here versus the Bears, which could be a shootout game, just like the Dallas Giants game. So you're looking at a possible 10-point game. Ferguson's definitely a startable tight end, and I like him this week a lot. 12 and 13, and this is getting annoying, man. Njoku's not popping. Fannon's not popping. They're just serviceable 10-point, 8-point tight ends. And the snap share with Fannin being all over the place, inline slots, running back carries, wildcat carries, lining up at wide receiver, lining up at tight end. He's everywhere. And then you get a matchup versus the Green Bay Packers. This is where they struggle, is versus the tight end. So you have to like both of these guys out there. It's just which one's going to hit. So I'm going to put them side by side right now. And I think it's going to be like this all year long unless one of them has like an injury. And God forbid an injury happens to either one of them. But that's what we kind of need at this point to get a little fantasy relevancy, because it's going to be a split share between them. Number 14, Mark Andrews, man. I got him on a sit this week. I can't say start him after the 2 weeks that's happened. We don't know if likely he's going to be out there. There's a couple updates that he might not. I don't have the official word yet. Maybe likely helps it out for Mark Andrews, but I can't explain if that does or anyway. I mean, he's been out there 80+% snaps and done nothing. And I mean, Cleveland was stopping the run and he was still doing nothing last week. So I got to drop him down to 14, and I'm really worried about Mark Andrews moving forward here. Number 15, Hunter Henry, the security blanket, gets the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. They're about average versus the tight end on the season. Drake May's been spreading it around between Bourne. You've seen Diggs snap share come up as well. Hunter Henry will always be like a, high-end tight end 2 play every single week with touchdown upside. It's just not great because he's spreading it all over the place. I mean, Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas. They're not Kendrick Bourne. Keyshawn Boutte. Sorry, I was thinking Kendrick Bourne because of Mac Jones talk with the Patriots. He's an okay tight end play. I don't, not really thrilled about it. It's just if you need to plug one in there, he's not bad. Dalton Kincaid coming in at number 16 for the Buffalo Bills. I have him low here because I fear the game script. The Dolphins defense is bad every single way, shape, or form. Wide receiver, running back, tight end, quarterback. They can't stop anything. And this could be another game where James Cook just absolutely destroys the Miami Dolphins. And if the Dolphins don't keep up, they're not going to need to use Kincaid that much. So I don't like the Kincaid play that much, but if you need to throw it in there, hope he gets a touchdown, because it's going to be a touchdown-dependent kind of game for him, I think. Number 17, Brenton Strange. And he looks great. He looks absolutely great. His pass blocking, run blocking, route running, everything. He looks great. He looks like he's going to be a specimen. Trevor Lawrence, man. He just drives me nuts. Like, BTJ's not even involved. They're not even using their superstar talents their star talents that are around them. So Brenton Strange, I'm going to put on hold right now at tight end 17 until I see more come out. Week 1, he looked good. Then week 2, he looked terrible in a great matchup. Number 18, Evan Ingram. This one hurts. This one really, really hurts. I had him as my dark horse tight end 1. Obviously, he came up with the calf injury in week 1, and his snaps are at 30 and 40%. And he even went out there and played hampered. So it really, really sucks. I mean, he had the Joker rule lined up in a Sean Payton system, which would have been like a Jimmy Graham style type tight end. And we just don't get to see it yet because he's just not healthy. And I'd rather them just hold him out than just go out there and let him play 30, 40% snaps and let us take a nightmare guess on if he's going to get a touchdown on low volume. Because I'm all about volume. I'm all about opportunity, which leads to volume, and his opportunity's not been there right now. So I've got to drop him down. All right. So we're heading out of tier 3. These last 3 rows of tight ends here, I'll just rank them out. I'm not really going to talk about them much because, pretty much at this rate, we're past all the tight ends you're kind of going to start unless you're in a super deep league. Jatavion Sanders comes in at number 19. Jonnu Smith comes in at number 20. We're going to go to Pat Fryermuth here as well, talk about both Steelers, 20 and 26. I don't trust the Arthur Smith system in any way, shape, or form, period. How it's going to go, 12-team personnel, not for me. Jatavion Sanders finding a little breakout for the Panthers, but still, do I want to start him? Not really. Chig Okonkwo, 5 targets last week. He's kind of emerging. They've had a very brutal start with the Broncos and Rams. Could it open up more for him? Yes. Do I feel comfortable starting him? No. Kate Otten has done nothing. Don't even talk about him. Dalton Schultz done nothing. Theo Johnson did see a little spike last week, but it was an 88-point shootout game against the Cowboys. So do I trust that? No. Mason Taylor, supposed to be the second option for the New York Jets, the rookie they drafted at LSU. He's done nothing. So, I mean, now you got Tyrod Taylor. Maybe that changes it for him. I don't see that helping at all. And this one is what I just... Cole Kmet and Colson Loveland, man. And everybody that gave me all the Colson Loveland stuff, I like the silence because exactly what you should do, is give me silence, because Colston Loveland was never the answer in this offense. There's too many mouths to feed. Cole Kmet's been playing 90% snaps to Loveland's 50%. So I'm not touching either one of these tight ends, even though I love this matchup versus Dallas, a potential shootout, until I see more from Colston Loveland and they use him and Luther Burden like they should for the draft capital they spent on him. I can't say to start him. Mike Gesicki, you could put Noah Fant up there, not touching them, even with Jake Browning. And then number 30, Elijah Rowe. You got a little spark from him. Maybe he starts to win the job from A.J. Barner, something to pay attention to there, but not a lot there. Thank you guys for rocking with me today. That is the end of the episode. That is my tight end top 30 rankings for week 3. If you want to check out my wide receiver, running back, quarterbacks, defense, and kicker rankings, those are all out. All my stardom sit-ins are out. All my goal this year is to get all of these out to you by Thursday kickoff. Tomorrow I'll dive into 5 sleeper plays I like, one at each position. 8 smash starts of players I think that are getting 20-plus points that are outside of superstar names, and touchdowns I like as well for them. And then, since we're 3 weeks in, I'm also going to drop a buy low, sell high video as well tomorrow, which is going to be interesting, so make sure you check that out. I don't know how many players I'm going to do, either 2 per position and then maybe a bonus player at the end. As always, guys, before you head out, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription. Helps me out a ton. Again, if you guys haven't checked out the Guys FF Discord, it will be pinned in the comments and in the description, and we cover everything fantasy football you need. And shout out to our sponsor, drafters.com. If you haven't signed up, make sure you use promo code SLEAZE. That is it for me today, guys. Got all the rankings out for you guys to help you guys win your matchups this week in week 3. If you have any comments, questions as well, it does not have to pertain to the ranking style of the video for tight ends. Drop them in there. I try to answer every single one of them. There's so many questions between here, Twitter, and everything, but I promise you I try to get to them all. Thank you guys for listening, man. That's it for me today. I hope to see you guys in the next episode tomorrow. Sleazebomb out.